Hello and welcome to the Soul Freedom Show. This is your host Lokesh Baba. Our website is soulfreedom.org. We're both on YouTube Live as well as on Blog Talk Radio. And our special guest today is Mr. Alfonso de Rose. Alfonso is a master spiritual teacher. For the past 20 years, he's been spending several weeks and months in personal solitude, exploring the science of the inner world, finding tremendous insights and wisdom. Now known as an insightful and spiritual master teacher, Alfonso is an ordained minister who has a remarkable, unorthodox, and innovative approach to helping men and women overcome the challenges and transform their lives through the art of love and sacred plant medicine. His website is alfonsoderose.com. And without further ado, I welcome my very special guest, Alfonso. Hi, Alfonso. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Right.
Thank you for having me here, Lokesh, by the way.
Sorry, what's that?
Thank you for having me here with you.
Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you joining us today. And how's your day going so far?
Oh, it's a blessing. Fantastic. Life is beautiful.
I can see that. What's new with your work and everything else in life?
Well, I recently took 6 months. I've been teaching self-help, or call them God's help seminars for a long time, and it's been very, very busy. And this year I took about 7 months off, and they've been very, very insightful because I had time to replenish myself and start to create new things, and very excited about the future.
Right. And for our new listeners, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your background?
Yeah, I'm originally from Italy, and I came in the United States when I was 22 years old. It was just by chance, because I always had the American dream in my mind, but in Italy I had a good life. It was difficult to let go of the life until my father, at the time I was studying political science, and my father got arrested for corruption. It happens in Italy, it happens a lot. And so in that moment, everything that I was studying the political science, I was working with him, everything fell apart. They froze the money in the bank account. So I had a car accident that was the car was totaled, and instead to buy a new car, I bought a ticket to come to the United States. And initially, I was living in the car. I joined the gym. At that time, I was a bodybuilder. I was a bodybuilder champion in Italy. And I came to Los Angeles in Venice Beach, and I joined the gym. I used to use the gym to go to the bathroom, and then I was sleeping in the car. And I started to deal with depression because life was difficult. I didn't speak English. I didn't know how to make money. Things started to be really, really difficult until someone gave me a book. I was 22, and a friend I met along the way gave me a book called The Alchemist, and that was the first book that I read in English, and I started to translate it with a little dictionary. But I was so involved because it's a great book. It has a very deep metaphorical message that goes deep inside the unconscious mind. It really got me, and I realized that I was in America for a reason, that I had a purpose, a mission in life, although at that time I had no idea what I was going to do. Eventually I gained a lot of weight, and I was this bodybuilder, and I went to the question. I said, what's going on? Why I gained so much weight? And so from a bodybuilder, I became a mind builder. I let go of the gym, and I started to really try to find out why I was suffering so much, how could I come out of depression, and how I could lose weight. And eventually, things started to get better. I started to study with many teachers. I started to travel, study with different teachers in India, in South America, in the United States, in Europe. I started to really looking for tools to help myself. And eventually I went from a bodybuilder to a mind builder into a heart builder. I realized that the fat was a protection, the muscle that I had was a protection, and I allowed myself to be vulnerable and to be truthful to myself. So I lost the weight, and I understand how emotion works. And then from there, I went into spiritual building. And when I started to help myself, I started to teach people also how to do it, how to achieve certain place in life of wholeness and happiness. And eventually, I was in Sri Lanka in a meditation retreat, and I went to the beach, and the tsunami came, and I was lucky that I was alive. I spent a week up in the mountains, really contemplating about my life, and when I came back, I started to teach seminars. I started to teach first seminars about losing weight, but not in a typical diet of exercise, but really with emotion, with the mind, understanding that the body is a reflection of what's going on inside, and so everything else in the world, finances and everything. So I started to help people to change the inside and losing the weight, and then from there I started to teach intimacy, relationship, love seminars, seminars for finances, seminars for all 14 different kind of seminars to really change the within so the life outside can change. And I'm still on the journey. I'm still growing myself, and I'm still teaching even long weeks, many weeks of deep silent meditation in the jungle, or week retreats in. I like to teach in the jungle in Mexico and Costa Rica because I like people to let go all the worries and to be in nature. Nature always heals, and so I've been teaching different workshops and seminars from 3 days to 21 days, and I'm still going. I'm still creating new stuff, and really I believe that I put together the cutting edge of self-help and growth, and never done it before, using the East with all the philosophy, and I learned from Buddhism, from Hinduism, the West from Christianity, Christ and the Bible, and the South for the shamanic healings, and I see it as a one, all one. Put it together and to get closer to the light and to self-actualization in a state of happiness in life, and going through this journey in the best way possible.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great. I was just interested to know, like from your years of experience, like what differences do you see, in terms of spirituality, people's perception of their spiritual growth from, let's say, 30 years back and now? What changes have you seen in people overall?
Well, definitely the spiritual journey 20 years ago in the West was pretty much at the beginning. Only the hippies, the 60s people, they listened to certain music, or maybe they started to do some drugs. They started to really follow like a new spiritual path that was outside dogmatic religions. Although even religions at that time, they changed. Like in America, we had the Pentecostal at that time, that they went from a period of where really the Bible was just, you read the Bible and you listen to what is the Bible, and in Pentecostal they started to have experience with the Spirit, so it was completely new. And now, but then we arrived to now where almost spirituality became a trend. It's a trend now. If you're not spiritual, you're not part of the white guys. And I believe it's a good beginning. Trend is good because people read the Art of Happiness from the Dalai Lama, and so it's definitely a good beginning. I believe I call spirituality more than spirituality, because spirituality is about finding the truth about yourself, truth who you are, and in order to do that, we have to face sometimes the deepest pains that we have and fears that we have, and not everybody is willing to do the spiritual
Duality, right?
work and really go into their way. Maybe some people, they just want to go in a very easy path where you get hugged by the saint, which is wonderful. The way that spirituality is really to go deeper, to see where you hide in your fears and your addictions and your lack of truth, and really face it. So I feel that there's still ground to conquer in this direction of spirituality, but we're definitely going in the right direction. More people are into the spiritual journey. More people that believe that there is a higher power and that can be manifested in many different ways. More people are definitely on that direction. I still think, though, that there's still some ground to conquer to really get the real deal and really go to the next level. But we are going to, and we will, because history always repeats itself. We just finished now a 26,000 years of a segment of history. We had spoken words. The way that we see history is until 5 or 8,000 years ago, when we had some written words. That's when we started to have written words, which they were signed at that time. And at that moment, we started to have a certain histories. Then the scientists, they tried to see what was before that and say the prehistoric era, which is all a facade. There were many civilizations, and we go all the way back to 20,000 years ago to the Lemurians and to the Atlantis and the Golden Age, where temples were made of gold. And so now history is repeating itself. We just finished a cycle, so we're about to begin in a higher level, where 26,000 years ago there were civilizations that were very developed. We're about to enter into the next 10 years, we're going to gain as much as we gain in 100 years. Because in the past 100 years, we got what we got usually in 1,000 years, in technology, in health, in spirituality. So the next 10 to 20 years, they're going to be incredible. We're going to have quantum computers. We went from the keyboard to touching the iPhone, and it's going to be connected with the mind. So we're definitely growing. We're going in the right direction. It's so exciting. It's beautiful.
Well, yeah, especially with the internet and everything. Everything is so fast. It's hard to even catch up with everything that's going on. But that also brings me to the topic of shamanism and the Native American and South American shamanism, and your work involved with that, and also with the plant medicine. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, as I said, there is. I've been working with the East, the West, and the South, and there are some prophecies from the Indians from America, the Americas. They say that those plant teachers, those indigenous populations, they were very connected with the earth, and there are something like 80,000 different species of plants in the Amazons that they have a capacity to bring some intuition or connection or some kind of messages that are very helpful for the psychic and for the world. Now, those plant medicine, they were the one that they had many plants in the Amazon that they can heal everything. You can heal cancer, you can heal HIV. It's just that you can lose weight. There are so many plants. Now, how do we know the difference between a plant, the echinacea, that can help you with a sore throat, and a comparison to another plant that can be poisonous? Well, those plant medicine, they told those shamans, those curanderos, they told them how to use them. And so a lot of messages, they've been coming from those gifts of nature. And the prophecy says that those plants, they will be released by those shamans, by these curanderos, at the right time of histories when the planet will need it the most. Before, they used to keep it for themselves, secret, because they didn't want it to go in the hands of the wrong people, and also because there was not the need that there is now. But right now, uh, I don't really see any other way to heal human consciousness, to heal the planet, to heal the egos. And so, as I've been in my experiencing myself those plants and be on the spiritual journey, I received the message myself to say, hey, you know, that's the future. That is what is going to heal this planet. That is what is going to create new source of energy, new entrepreneurs, healthy, enlightened entrepreneurs, new way to make business, new way to have relationships. I'm about to write a new book about relationship. Really, by those intuition, the messages that I'm receiving, new relationship where you don't blame each other, but you realize that we are mirroring, and so the new relationship with the new millennium, instead to fight with each other, you just say, hey, what I'm creating in you, it's in me. I have to heal myself. There's nothing to do with women. It's nothing to do with men. It's with me. And
Yeah.
so those plants, they contain the wisdom, the teachers. The teachers that they're teaching us how to be better human beings, how to reconnect with nature. And so I've been receiving more and more the message of there is already obviously in the West, but to bring it in the way that I've been receiving it, which is an art, and to help people in relationship, against addiction, to heal from disease, to make more money in a healthy way, but most important, to heal the planet.
Right, right. And how did you get started with the South American shamanism? Did you meet any shamans there, or how did it start for you?
It was by mistake. I was doing. I always been a traveler, and I didn't know anything about it. I was young. I was probably 25 or 24 years old, and I met. I was in the jungle, and somebody told me that there was this ceremony, and they were doing this. At that time, I thought it was a drugs, and I never been really much interested into drugs because I always been an athlete, and so my initial reaction said, no, I'm not gonna do it. But then they said, well, you know, you're gonna have vision, you're gonna heal yourself. So I guess my curiosity became so strong. Then I went, I tried, and it was an amazing experience the first time. And the second, it was actually 3 nights, and it was an amazing experience. Eventually, as a good Westerner that I am, I started to doubt it. I started to think that was not of the light, that it was scary, but something changed in myself. And as I said, I moved to the United States and I was dealing with depression. I was suffering. I really, at that time, I grew up in a Catholic environment, and I lost the knowing that there is God, that there is a light. I lost that knowing, so I didn't know really where to find it. And I took courses here and there, but it wasn't really a very tangible experience that I needed. And that opened my spiritual journey to start to study more, and then I started to study other religions and everything. It really, at that time, I didn't even know that for sure it started to open something in my pineal gland, because I started to have this super desire to get to know the light, super desire to heal myself and also heal others. And so eventually I started to do it more and more. Every time I travel, I've done it with different shamans from all over the world, from Peruvian traditions, from Brazilian traditions, and it's always been a good experience. I went through my when you drink those medicine, you go through a period of purification, and that initially was beautiful, but then I went to my purification, which is extremely painful, and that's when I started to believe there was something not of the light, but I realized that it was me that was healing, and it has nothing to do with the medicine, with the sacred medicine. Then I started to teach seminars, and I never really introduced it because I knew that the West was not ready. I never really much talked about it. It was my own personal journey. My own students didn't know about it. And it's just recently that I started to hear this call stronger and stronger, and leading seminars outside the country where I combine all the techniques and the teachings that I've been doing over the years with the help of the sacred plants.
Right, right. And so what are you currently involved in? Like what kind of workshops or retreats you're involved with these days?
Well, for example, right now next month we have a retreat called the Wow Retreat. I've done it many times without using the medicine, and I've seen the most incredible healing. The Wow, it's what I call Wow. It's that moment where there is so much love inside yourself, so much peace, so much surrendering. It's the moment that you become one with the universe. You see, we used to be one with the light. We used to be one with God, and in the moment that those souls, I'm gonna just tell the story in a very short way, but the soul took form in this animal called human. In this animal, we started to have an idea that I am separated from you, I am separated from the trees, I am separated from everything, I'm separated from God. And that's where the suffering is. That's why sometimes we go in a relationship, and if the relationship doesn't work, we get crazy, we suffer, because we feel more the separation, and we thought that the relationship was feeling what the lack that we have inside, which is the separation with God. So the wow is the moment where we feel that I'm one. We're one. It was an illusion. I'm one with everything. And so when people usually reach that moment, they say, wow, wow. And so I call it the wow. I didn't know what other name to call it. It came naturally. And so the way that we use it now, we not just use it in the way that I've been for a long time. We also use the medicine. We do a few nights when they use the medicine. And also we do some exercises with the medicine to really achieve that moment of oneness, the deepest healing. Because my mission, my purpose in life is to bring the highest healing on the earth. And what does it mean, the highest healing? Realize that we are one. Realizing that we are love, and you are love, and everything is love, but not in a new age way that is just oh, we are love, but then deep inside you go and you burn the flag of the opposite party or some president. It's love. There is no ego there. It's love, and it's something that I cannot teach alone. I need the help, and I need the help from God, and I need the help from the medicine. And the medicine helped to facilitate this. She is the facilitator. She is actually the healer. I am just the facilitator.
Right. So when you talk about medicine, can you tell our listeners a little bit about what kind of medicine you're referring to?
Yeah, I'm talking about ayahuasca. Ayahuasca, there are two plants. One, it's a more masculine. The other one is more feminine. And they are from the Amazons. And again, by some mysterious way, they find out that when you combine these two plants together, and you drink it, and you make a tea with that, it's called ayahuasca, and you make a tea with these two plants, what happens is they started to release DMT inside your body, inside your pituitary gland, and the pineal gland. And the pineal gland is a gland that we have right at this distance of the third eye, but inside the brain, and it's a little form, looks like a little pine, and it's also called the seat of God because it's responsible to release melatonin, tryptophan, and to give vision and dreams. And we all have it. We all produce this naturally. And DMT is almost in every living being.
So it's like the DNA, you can say?
What's that?
Is it like the DNA?
Well, it can be part of the DNA and modify the molecular structure can modify the DNA, but it is really a chemical that is released by these glands. It's our hormones, the glands hormones, you know.
Right.
Three major glands in the brain. We have the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and the pineal gland.
Yeah.
And they all have the responsibility to enhance your hormone system, which gives you life force, and it helps you visions and messages and connection and contact from apparently a world that is not only this world.
Right. So people who are curious about what kind of experiences can people expect if they're some point in the future going to try the ayahuasca medicine, what kind of experiences can they expect, and also why do you think it's useful for anybody?
Your voice is it was coming and going, so
what I was asking was for people who are curious about ayahuasca, what kind of experiences do people go through when they drink the medicine, and also what kind of benefits they can expect out of that?
Yes, well, first of all, I want to say something because as a good Westerners, one of the things I thought at the beginning was, is this a drug? Ayahuasca is not a drug, it's a medicine. We call it medicine. It's a medicine of the soul. Like you have echinacea. Echinacea helps you to clear your immune system. Ayahuasca is going to help your soul to be cleansed from all the impurity that you have inside. What are the impurity of the soul? The ego, which include guilt, anger, fear, low self-esteem, or you name it. When you drink this blood of Mother Nature, because it has such a purifying effect, not just it purifies the body as well. I've been feeling sick at time and drinking it and feeling good after, because it eliminates germs and everything. So when you drink it, one of the things that happens, usually you go through a period where you might go through a purge.
Right.
And so you're vomiting, but often you don't vomit really anything, but if you want to call it spirits or emotions that you were carrying from when you were a child, it really goes deep inside and collect the dirt of the soul, the dirt that we don't even know. We go to therapy for 20 years. One night is like almost 20 years of therapy. And you're not just throwing up and you're cleaning yourself of this pain and emotions, but you also go through a dialogue inside yourself and some hallucinations, a dialogue within yourself that really, it's almost a higher consciousness speaking to you and telling you how to live your life, to be a better being, to live in the light, to let go of certain behavior, certain ideas, and so a purifier really towards the light. And so the side effects are that you might go to this purge, but the side effect is to open your heart more, to be more loving, more sweet, more understanding, and more wise, because it also brings a lot of wisdom. And it's because it stimulates the pineal gland, it opens to creativity, and awakens the mind to see the world in a completely different way that we've been taught at school, or because the water that we drink with fluoride, or all the pesticide, the processed food, they calcify the pineal gland. So after a while, the pineal gland doesn't work anymore. That's why lately we don't have as many geniuses like Einstein anymore, Leonardo da Vinci. You look at the movie now, because we have the digital, they keep repeating the same things. You watch television, they have reality shows, and people they study for 20 years to be an actor. They're super talented people, they don't have jobs because there are no ideas behind it to support it. So what this medicine is, a solution for the world to awaken, to going into live in the way that 26,000 years ago there were civilization more advanced spiritually than we are now, and because the history is not a linear phenomenon, it's a cycle that goes in spiral. So obviously we're about to enter now into a new millennium, a new spiritual journey and awakening, and this medicine has a tremendous value to help us to go into this awakening. Obviously, in order to awaken ourselves, we need to respect Mother Nature and start to care about this earth, because we're destroying ourselves. So the most important thing to understand is that it's not a drug, although in the United States it's seen as so. Why it's seen as so? Because there is a lot of ignorance about it, and because this is meant to awaken a population, not to put them to sleep, like many people are. Not because they are asleep, but because they eat the same food, they watch the same televisions, and maybe for the government it's okay this to happen. Ayahuasca awakens you, and awakens your soul, your spirit, your creativity. It also will live in art.
Right. So what about people, some people, when you talk about psychedelics or even the plant medicine, ayahuasca and mushrooms and DMT, people are afraid because of the negative experiences that they've either seen in a movie or, you know, heard from people. So what do you have to say to people who are afraid of, let's say, negative entity, you know, coming in front of them, or snakes coming in front of them? So what do people need to do to prepare for that?
Yes, one thing is to understand, one of the problem by drinking the medicine, one of the problem is not the medicine or the hallucination that might occur, it's fear. Fear because it's a new phenomenon when you drink for the first time, or even after 10 times, because it's always a different experience. You might go into some kind of fears. You might go into having those images of some evil faces or people or animals or something. Now, the way that works is initially you get to know the spirit that is in the medicine. And because I worked a lot among Christian, I worked a lot in the East among Hindu, I experienced the Shakti energy, I experienced the Holy Spirit. Because I experienced those energy, when I feel that the spirit, the energy that awakens when we drink the medicine, it is the same one, which is a healing energy. Now, when we experience those frightened moments that it might happen, is because the darkness is within. Right. The darkness is not because the spirit comes, although it could happen, but most of the time, because obviously, if you decide to do a healing ceremony with ayahuasca, you want to make sure that you do it with someone that knows what he's doing, and not just about how much you should drink or not, but someone that knows how to deal into that realm of spirit and can provide a certain security and protection for the group. That is important because obviously it opens your psychic. You know what happens in those moments. So you want to make sure that you protect that room. However, most of the time, again, because the medicine, there is purity in the medicine. It's beauty, it's light. Most of the time, when those negative situation happens, is because they are inside ourselves. Addictions, anger, hatred, jealousy, the ego, it just comes out in very, almost sometimes evil forms. Like, for example, if you could see anger, what would the anger looks like if it looked like a human being? It would look like some kind of monster. What about guilt? What about low self-esteem? And so those are all projection of the mind. The mind projects all those things. In the moment that we heal, then we start to see more angelic beings. Again, those are projection of the mind. As we keep the journey of healing, then we enter into the next step, which is the journey of receiving messages, and that is the message to connect it to higher realm with higher beings, and people then describing contact with different beings from timeless dimensions. And but first you have to go through the light. Now there is nothing to be afraid. There is nothing harmful. There are a few guidelines that they need to be respected. Number one, you need to take it very, very seriously. I know of some American kids that they try to go to Peru, they bring it back here, they do a solo journey, they use it to get high. You don't want to do that because you're calling yourself for trouble. You need to, it's a sacrament. In Brazil, they use it, the Catholic, they use it in the way that they usually use the wine. And they respect that moment. When you take the communion with Christ, you drink the wine and you eat the bread, it's a moment of communion. It's a moment of oneness. And the medicine has the same effect. You have to respect it. You have to be very respectful. You cannot take it lightly. It's not drugs. It's something that you do really because you want to grow, because you want to get closer to the light, you want to change. And you have to take it very, very seriously. And so you want to learn about it. You want to go in a certain diet because you want to purify your body, because it will purify the body. Otherwise, it's going to make you sick. And so I would say the most important to take it very seriously, to respect it, and to do it with someone that has experience on working with people, healing people, and working with the medicine, and not to use it as a just a recreational or to have fun or something like that. Like people drink and go into a club, that is unthinkable. So I know that, I'm sure that when you respect the medicine and you do it in the right way, everything's going to be okay. There's going to be difficult moments, but not because there is an evil spirit, but because there is something inside ourselves, and we all have it. I went through it myself. That is not pretty, and it feels like to be in some kind of hellish realm. But that's why I'm saying that the new spirituality is about facing the truth that we have inside. All the skeletons that are not willing to see. The medicine uncovered everything to make you truthful, to make you fearless, to make you belong to the light as one, and make the change on the planet. So it is safe. It is very safe. It's been used for thousands of years. You don't want to mix it with any kind of chemicals, antidepressants, or any other kind of chemical medicine.
Alcohol even, right? Alcohol, and the alcoholic drinks.
Yeah, you don't want to use it with any other drugs. I met people that they done heroin one day and then they went to do ayahuasca, thinking they were able to be healed from their addictions, but truth is they mix it together and there can be troubles. In South America, they say that the ayahuasca is a jealous plant.
Right.
And it's true. It is true that she doesn't want you to mix it with anything else, because it's almost like if you go to a personal trainer because you want to build your body, but you go to many different personal trainers that give you different diets, then you're not going to have any results. So if you decide to work with ayahuasca, you only work with ayahuasca. Stay away from chemicals, even from other natural drugs. Just do the work with ayahuasca, and everything's going to work out. Everything's going to be fine. It's been used for thousands of years. People that have been hurt in the past is because they've been mixing it and they have not using it in a proper way.
Right. So yeah, that's what I heard, that the plant itself is the teacher. So when you're experiencing those moments after having the drink, the plant kind of talks to you. You can get lessons from the plant. And I'm going to have my first experience of ayahuasca very soon in one of your retreats. But I was just curious to know that what do you feel is the difference between doing an ayahuasca ceremony with a shaman in the jungle versus doing it in a workshop kind of a setting where there's no shaman and you're not in a jungle? Do you see any differences between those settings?
Um, I've done it. I've done it in cities. I've done it in jungles. I've done it in caves, in deserts, and every place is different because there are different spirit around that. Um, the only difference is when you do your spiritual journey, whether you're meditating or you're drinking ayahuasca, the time of the year, the month, it makes the difference. If you drink ayahuasca in springtime, it's going to be different than when you drink it in wintertime, because that we are connected with the energies of the stars and everything.
Right. Yeah.
So, there is definitely a difference. Now, um, to my experience, is that sometimes in South America, because maybe the language and the culture barrier, it's a wonderful experience where you receive a lot of love from the shamans, and they're truly amazing shamans that they really achieve a very high level, that they can really do a lot of incredible healing without even talking.
Right.
But because we are Westerners, we need to know, we need to know why, how, and this and that. So sometimes it's good also to go in a workshop settings so we can not just receive the healing from the medicine, but also the knowledge, the understanding, have all the answers, the questions answers, and also learn new technique that it can be used with the medicine.
Right, right. And regarding your work, you mentioned some of the new projects you're working on. Do you want to talk about anything new that you're working on currently?
Well, I'm about to. I just started now this book. I wrote a book before about weight loss because that is how I started this whole journey. And I've been receiving more and more messages because the WOW, for example, the summit that's coming up. I work a lot on relationship, on love, how they work, and I can see how throughout the years lately, relationships don't work. There's so many single people, many divorce, lack of intimacy, and so I can see how there must be an evolution and change in the realm of relationships. And so I'm about to write these new books where bring the sacredness of relationship and sexuality and as a prayer and reaching the oneness that goes beyond tantra, because before tantra it's many years old from India, but before tantra there were other way to achieve sexuality where everything was to come closer to the light. You were eating food, you were eating in a way, in a sacred way. What does it mean, sacred? Sacred means in communion with the light, in communion with God. So they were eating that way, they were working in that way, and they were making love in that way. And so my next project, a book, is writing a book about that, and really bringing this whole idea of love and consciousness written in a book. Also, I'm going to bring back I have a seminar called Thinner Journey, which I've been having amazing success with people in losing weight, but I want to go deeper. So I'm creating a week seminar in the jungle outside the United States, using the medicine to even speed up that process, because eventually the weight loss is the journey to let go of protection and opening the heart and love more. And so I just coming up with all this new workshops and books where the teachings, they don't just come from my years of experience and my teachers, but I also receive this knowledge and messages because I've been drinking and experiencing the medicine for a long time, and lately even more. Um, because I'm coming out more in the public about it. I'm more spoken about it, and so I will teach more seminars with the medicine for sure.
Right. So do you think it's going to be legal anytime soon in the United States, the ayahuasca medicine?
Um, it will be legal eventually. There is a an advantage to the fact that it's not legal. And the advantage is it doesn't go in the hands of the wrong people.
Right. Yeah.
So eventually, right, it should be regulated.
Right.
Eventually, I believe I'm creating a church myself, and we will work on getting an exemption. A church that is connected to Brazil, to a Brazilian church, and I believe that it will take time, but some of us they will get exemption, but eventually it will be legal. But it's going to take at least 20 to 30 years um, for look how difficult it is for other things already, and but sooner or later it will, because you can study the subject, there is no harm to it, there is only healing, and eventually there is this doctor in Canada that uses it. He's a therapist, and he uses it to treat addiction. He has amazing results, and you cannot deny the results that you have. And so sooner or later, it has to be legal. People that they fight against it, it's just, again, it's only one reason: it's ignorance.
Right. Right. Yeah, and also there's a lot of because it's not legal here, people traveling to Peru and Brazil, and then also there's cases where people have bad experiences, and because you don't know the language, you don't know the people, so that might just be another advantage of, just like they are legalizing marijuana, hopefully ayahuasca becomes legal, so people don't have to spend so much money and risk their lives going to South America, which in itself is a great experience, I'm sure. But different people should have. I feel people should have different options to explore their own, spirituality and growth. It should not be in the hands of the government, although the intention is good, like you said. It's that way it's not going into the hands of the wrong people. But yeah, like you said, down the line, I feel that way too. Just like what's going on with marijuana, people would have more access to this medicine, and it's just be easier for people to grow. That's what people want to do, is grow in life, learn every day new things, and plants are the best medicine. That's what all the ayahuasca and the shamanistic people, and they don't consider themselves to be teachers. They say the plant is the teacher, right? They're just facilitating, and I'm sure you feel the same way too. Do you have anything to say about that?
Whether you work with the medicine or not, a teacher, there is a chain called the golden chain. The golden chain is the chain of teachers, and when you are, you have that call in life to be a teacher. The goal is, initially you want to do it because maybe people like you, because you can become popular or something like that. That might happen to every great teachers to do that, but eventually there is the realization that, number one, to be a teacher is not always a good experience at all, because you might have a lot of people that they love you, but also a lot of people that
So
yeah, exactly. So it's not always a good experience, but the more you enter into the journey of being a teacher, the more you realize that you cannot do it alone. So whether you do it with the medicine or without it, you use the golden chain, which is the golden chain is the gold teachings, the teachings that are available to every teacher, and a teacher becomes just a channel, a vessel for that. And the more a teacher is able to become a vessel and say, I'm not here for me. I'm here for my teacher, which can be the plant, it can be the Holy Spirit, or whatever you're working on it. And so when you use the medicine, as a teacher, you have a relationship with the medicine, and you ask the medicine, you want me to do this, I will do it, but I need your help. And the medicine allows you to do this, and you yield for the medicine to do the work, and you just a pure vessel, and you just do in the physical form what the medicine wants you to do in this planet. Or if you don't use the medicine, the Holy Spirit, or whatever energy you use to bring the teachings, that are not mine or any human being, the teaching of the light, that they are available for everybody. In fact, when you go to a teacher, you pay, because a teacher needs to get paid, and has expenses and everything, but the teachings are always for free, because nobody has his own teaching. Oh, this is my teachings. The teachings, you channel those teachings.
Yeah.
A vessel from it. And so the more you allow yourself to surrender and allow this to work through you, then you're just a facilitator. You're just there. But
Right. I was just curious to know what have been some of your inspirations, or people you have looked up to, who you feel you've learned the most from.
It's been a different times of my life.
Phases of life. Yeah.
Yes, I had different phases, and I tell you that what inspired me to come to United States and to have the American dream was because at that time was a bodybuilder. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger at that time. I thought, well, if he can do it, I can do it too. And so he really inspired me for that. But then when I started to go into this spiritual journey, I started to read, and I had experience with Yogi Bhajan. Yogi Bhajan was a teacher from India that brought the Kundalini Yoga, and he really inspired me and guided me a lot. I worked with one of his pupils, Guru Singh, that I was taking classes with him all the time in my 20s, and it really changed my life and opened me to start to go to India, travel, and study with different masters, spending time with Sai Baba, and then spending a lot of time in jungles with incredible unknown monks in Burma, that they taught me the art of meditation. Very humble and beautiful people with almost no name, and some teachers also from Thailand that they really inspired me. Of course, I read the books of a lot of spiritual teachers from many traditions. I have a Christian teacher that really filled me with the Holy Spirit, and I love, and I owe a lot to him. And so I had really the fortune to be around some very powerful people that inspire me, and they taught me a lot. And sometimes, more than teaching me words, they gave me some kind of transmission of energy that years later I say, oh my God, I know how to do, because of that transmission that at that time I didn't know I had it. So it's really a mix between the East and the West, and keeping an open mind about it without judging one tradition or the other and being too close, and really see that we are here to do the best on the planet. And but I had a fortune to be around very powerful, incredible teachers that for sure they changed my path in life.
Right. And also, for people who cannot attend one of your workshops or retreats, what can they do? Like, let's say they're at home but they cannot travel, or what can they do to improve their lives? Just daily, simple things they can do.
You mean if they want to work with me, or just a few tools?
Yeah, just tools they can use on their own. For example, meditation or something like that, where they don't have to travel to come to your. I mean, if that, let's say they don't have the money to travel, what can they do?
I say the first thing to do is to ask. Ask and you shall receive. That is the first, you do one step towards God, God makes 1,000 steps towards you. So prayers are very powerful. Prayers are your health insurance. Prayer, they protect you. Prayers, they create a certain vibration around you that if you don't have the money, you will get the money. One time I was teaching a WOW retreat in Mexico, and we had maybe 36 people participating. 15 of them, they came because they received donations by some other people. So I know when you put your intention on something and you pray about it, it will happen. But to pray, to start this journey, say, God, if you exist, if you don't have a relationship with God, help me. I need help. Now, after you pray, start reading. Reading books is always helping. Personally, I do a lot of free teleclasses, conference, and everything, so it's always good to participate. And after prayers, I would suggest to enter into the path of meditation, because in this world we need to quiet this mind. How can you keep up with the cell phone, with computer, with information, with books? It's just the mind is about to explode. So at least an hour a day to quiet the mind, it's imperative. There are many meditation techniques, but the most simple is just to start to observe your breath. And even if you do it 5 minutes a day, then you make it longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. As much as possible to do techniques that they bring your consciousness inside. Inside. It's like the Trojan horse was brought inside the enemy city in order to fight the enemy. And so we need to bring our consciousness inside. So if you want to change the world outside, we want to bring the Trojan horse with consciousness inside ourselves, and then we can change the outside. And the way that we do it, it's meditation is the first tool to go inside. Meditation says, I am here, I'm present, there is chaos all around, but I'm here, I'm present. And the breathing, do 5 minutes a day, just rising and falling of your stomach, is going to help you to concentrate the mind, so then you can bring your awareness inside and say, I'm here, I'm here. And eventually, when you become more present, you go from 5 minutes to 10, to 20 minutes, to an hour, and then you can even go all night. It's going to take years, it's going to take dedication, but it's important to have a hunger for it, really want to do it. And forgive the mistakes, because during the spiritual path, we go to a retreat, we read a book, we change, and then we found ourselves to make same mistakes sometimes. And so the spiritual path, it's a path where it requires a lot of self-forgiveness and knowing that we are not perfect, nobody's perfect, and if you didn't make it this time, if you didn't get it this time, it's going to happen next month. A lot of patience, patiently and persistently. And so I say prayer, meditation, and receiving through prayer, meditation, receiving, where you can call the Holy Spirit or whatever you want to call it, and then if there is opportunity, there are a lot of retreats that they don't have to be in Mexico. I mean, if you want to experience the medicine, you do have to go to, and we do it outside the country, but there are a lot of retreats that you can come, and I do a lot of things for free myself, from donations, just because I want to help those that they don't know yet that they can manifest the money to do whatever they want, because again, prosperity is pro-spirit, it's a state of mind. And my idea of wholeness and spirituality is to master your finances, your relationship, your sexuality, and also your physical health. It's bringing it all together. And so I would start to listen to lectures. We have a lot of free lectures. There are a lot of incredible teachers out there, and then go to the free stuff, and everybody can do it. It's available for everybody.
Right, and can you also tell our listeners your website and how they can get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can. My personal website is alfonsodrose.com. You can write there or email me. You can also go to medicineevolution.com. And Medicine Evolution, we have more about the retreat with the sacred medicine. In alfonsodios.com, more about losing weight and a lot of retreats and prayer calls that we do early in the morning and free seminars access. Also in the other seminar, in the other websites, Medicine Evolution, we have a lot of lectures that you can listen, recordings you can listen over and over, and there is a lot of wisdom in that that can really help to prepare the experience.
Right, that's great. And before we end the conversation, do you have anything else you want to share with our listeners, Alfonso?
I just want to say that life is a beautiful place, and if you go through depression, if you go through some anxiety or you're struggling, I say help yourself. What does it mean to help yourself? Don't believe that there is no hope. Don't believe that you have to take some medications, because we don't know the long-term effect from those medications. Regardless, I say don't give up. Don't give up, and because we are in this world where there are the tools to heal from disease, from depression, from anxiety, and you're not alone. And personally, and we are here to serve you, to help you if you need to. There is the way out. Call us, contact us. Don't be shy, but don't give up your life. Don't think that there is no way out. Don't think that you cannot come out of addictions, because there is a way out. And light is the way out. And to face your truth inside is the way out. And everybody can do it.
Right, that's great. And when is your Mexico retreat coming? What are the dates for that?
The next one, September 20th until the 27th.
All right, great.
Retreat in Mexico. Yeah.
Okay.
About it if you have any questions.
Sure. All right, sounds good. And also, yeah, I'm looking forward to one of your retreats and workshops attending, and also experiencing the medicine soon. So I'm looking forward to that.
You and your wife?
Oh yeah, both of us will be there soon. And thanks a lot, Alfonso, for joining us today. It was a real pleasure.
Lokesh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for your questions, and I'm looking forward to meet you soon. And all of you that you're listening, I also looking forward to meet you very soon. Bless you all.
Okay, thanks, Alfonso. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.